This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Tomorrow night, witness the end of an era. John Cena takes center stage for his final appearance ever on Monday Night Raw. One last match, one unforgettable farewell. Celebrate the legacy of a true WWE legend. Don't miss Monday Night Raw, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, only on Netflix. Be there for the moment everyone will be talking about.
John!
What?
Red 7!
I don't know what Red 7 means.
Hot route!
I don't. What is hot route?
Will you just go stand on the other side, please?
Down!
Come on.
Ready, down, set, hut, 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 hut!
Hit me! Booyah! That's what we call a sack lunch. Nom, 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 nom.
It's time for the Soonerscoop.com postgame show presented by Eskridge Lexus in Oklahoma City. Eskridge Lexus is the official travel partner of Soonerscoop.com podcasts. Now, here's your road crew, Carey, Eddie, and Bob, wrapping up all the action and reaction from this week's game.
All right, welcome to a historic night, a historic Eskridge Lexus podcast. I think, guys, people for years are probably going to be going back and listening to this podcast if things play out the way they do this season for the Oklahoma Sooners, because Brent Venables has his most signature win as a head coach at the University of Oklahoma, a 23-21 win over Alabama. It was unbelievable. It didn't matter who the Sooners did or didn't have. They just went out there and they sprinkled a little magic all around Bryant-Denny Stadium tonight, and it was impressive. Let me just, you guys were there covering it. Let me just throw it to you guys and just give me your thoughts initially.
Incredible. I mean, it was absolutely incredible, and I think that I told George after the game, this might not have even been in the instant reaction, Carey, but I can't remember in my time covering OU with Scoop over the better part of the last 15 years, I guess. I think I wrote this on the message boards, that they have gone out and in back-to-back weeks, seemingly, obviously two games in the last 3 weeks with the bye week, but the way that they just kind of battled through it, found ways, didn't have their best, and still made quite a statement. Now, I think that I go back to what we were talking about after the Ole Miss game right here on the Eskridge Lexus Postgame Podcast, and I think I seemingly fired just about everybody on the offensive staff. Didn't think that Brent Venables was going to be able to do it as a head coach, and they responded with two of the biggest wins Brent has ever had in his career. Certainly tonight's kind of the cherry on the top, just in terms of his best win as a head coach. And it's, I don't know, sky's the limit, it almost feels like, for this team, that they can not just be in a college football playoff or in that conversation, but maybe get hot and make a special year out of it. They have had, over the last two games, some really incredible plays that I think are going to kind of go down in Sooner lore, and you saw it again tonight with the Eli Bowen pick six. Truly kind of incredible. What do you say, George?
Yeah, I think Eddie kind of summed it up there, but it was remarkable. I mean, I think that the way that they won the game, Carey, was like they didn't play well either. Like the defense did, and Eddie said in the car, we're already back in Birmingham. This is the second time we're doing this because all of Norman is down. And
there's a massive power outage in Norman, apparently.
Crazy, but I was gonna say that, like, the defense Eddie said in the car, the defense played pretty much perfect. Special teams was perfect. I mean, the special teams might have actually been perfect. I don't know if they made a single mistake on special teams tonight. The offense was terrible, though. For most of the game, it just wasn't very good. They came up with some big plays when they needed to, but even at the end of the game, they've got the ball with the chance to go put the game away, and they can't do it. They get a false start.
Strange calls.
They get the intentional grounding.
George's question to Brent in the postgame, you can go back and watch the entire postgame. We highlighted it in the instant reaction. But basically, George, you basically asked, like, it was kind of sloppy offensively. Brent doesn't care. Like, I think that was the happiest I've seen Brent in a postgame setting ever.
I did watch it, yeah.
And I think that, like, there's a little part of him that loves the way that they're winning, especially defensively. And it's kind of crazy too, like, just scrolling through Twitter and seeing everybody talking about Oklahoma defensively. It's almost surreal. I know that we've been talking about it all year and they've been really good, but to go and do that on the road without R. Mason Thomas, without Gentry Williams, still looks like Kobe McKenzie's banged up. I know that we talked about the depth stuff last week during the bye week. It's just crazy to watch it come to fruition and then do it at Neyland Stadium in Tuscaloosa, two of the most hostile environments that I think you can play.
Your season on the line.
With the season on the line, and all of a sudden now they've forced 6 turnovers in the last 2 games.
And 2 of them for touchdowns.
In Knoxville and Tuscaloosa. Like, maybe I'm definitely talking crazy now, but like, maybe this team is special. Like, maybe they can go on a run. It's just kind of remarkable that they were able to do that tonight and in the manner that they've done it over the last couple of weeks, when I think everybody was out on Brent. Not everybody, but I think in my brain, I had just come to this idea that they couldn't go on the road and win these types of games. And I think that there is a certain, like, and this is super dopey, but George and I talked about this as well on the way home. It's like, I think that there is like a unique brotherhood, chemistry, kinship within this team right now that I think we always roll our eyes at. But I don't know, the way that they've won the last couple of weeks, I do think that it plays some type of role in all of this. And you got to give credit to Brent for getting it done and having a staff that could get these guys ready.
I just want to remind everybody out there that it was just 3 weeks ago that we had the pod in which Eddie told us that OU had no chance to beat Tennessee. And it was just
I didn't say no chance. I said there was a very, very small chance.
It was like a doomsday podcast. Everybody was fired, and Eddie's sitting here now telling you, "What if they won the national title?"
I'm super drunk on happiness right now. Like, it's unbelievable. But I just ultimately like the way that they've done it the last couple weeks, and I think that, like, Carey, you kind of put it in. I think it was your story, like the way that they've kind of made an announcement to the rest of the college football world. Like, you can go beat some of these teams, it's one thing, and to do it in the SEC, it's another. But to do it in the 2 settings that they've done it, like George said, with your backs against the wall, I think that is like the biggest statement you can make. Like, Oklahoma, when we wake up on Sunday, going into Monday, they're kind of the talk of college football right now, yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, here, and this is, like George mentioned, this is the second time we've had to start. We were actually in the middle of the pod, and the power went out in our offices on Campus Corner, and the entire west side of Asp Avenue lost of power. So, like, Logie's, the porch, there are just people pouring out of there. Like, that's a really sad thing. Like, one of the biggest nights that these kids have ever seen in their lives. They can't even go to the bars and celebrate. But trust me, I went back to the office, grabbed a bunch of equipment, brought it back to my house so we could do this right here. And there were still people flooding in, like, not knowing that half of Campus Corner had no power. But, one thing I was saying earlier when we were doing the podcast is, there's a very small list of opposing quarterbacks in college football over the last 20 years that have been able to go into Tuscaloosa and win a football game. And as I mentioned, in that first spot, it made Johnny Manziel famous. Johnny Manziel, I'm seeing him he was on the sideline of Texas A&M right here today. But it made him who he was. It made him Johnny Football, because nobody else did that. And you guys said that there was like 3 other names. I looked it up. One was Bo Nix. Jarrett Stidham actually beat Alabama. There was a couple of Auburn quarterbacks, Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham. And then I think there was another one that we recognized. Joe Burrow. So the list is, and I'm not saying John Mateer is the reason they won this game. He clearly wasn't. It was their defense that did it. But all this stuff that we've talked about, and we all know that there's such a lack of patience and everything's instant gratification. To me, what this did tonight or this afternoon was show that Brent really has been building this the right way. And the defense is phenomenal. The offense isn't where you want it to be, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was a year ago. And yes, that was a huge mistake with Seth Luttrell. But name me all the other teams, especially teams in this year, last year, that can go in. And Alabama had a down year last year, but this year, I think everybody looked at them as the de facto favorite to win the SEC eventually before this game. How many other teams in this conference could go in there and win a game in Tuscaloosa? It doesn't happen. And for Brent to be able to put together a program that could go in there and do what they did today without being, great on offense, to do it, turning over a quarterback that threw one interception the entire season and pick six him to start the scoring today. Like, it's unbelievable. And it sends a message. It should send a message to the fan base like, okay, Brent kind of knows what he's doing. It hasn't always been pretty, but would you rather blow this thing up and go what Florida and in possibly Ole Miss and Auburn and all these other schools, what they're going through? Or would you rather have Brent Venables right now? Because to me, having Brent Venables, he has opened the door to another program that can go in and beat an Alabama on their home turf and possibly go into a Georgia. I mean, Texas didn't get that. It didn't come close to doing that tonight. Steve Sarkisian, what's his best road win in the SEC?
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kan du norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
He hasn't beat Alabama.
He did beat Alabama in Alabama 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But you're right, though, Carey. Like, and that's the thing. And we don't know. We got to see. Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. They got to take care of business at home these next two games. Like, you can't go lay an egg this week against Missouri, who just beat the shit out of Mississippi State. Like,
and ran for like 400 yards.
Yeah. LSU, I'm not as worried about. I think LSU's probably going to quit.
They're both going to be really tough games.
Tough games, probably close games. Like, I think the Missouri game could be a one-score game again. So they got to do that. But, like, if they can finish this thing out, get to 10-2, and then whatever happens in the playoff. Like, I don't think you can win the national title, but I do think they can win a playoff game, maybe two, and put themselves in a crazy position. But like, the way that they're building this thing, Carey, if they can just figure it out on offense, and they don't even have to be great on offense, just figure it out in where you can score some points and move the ball a little bit.
But if they can become great on offense, they become the next Alabama.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's all they got to do. And I mean, it's as if it's like easy to do. It's not. But like, if they can figure that part out, like, they've got a really good chance to build this thing. And I think you're seeing, like, the defense today was just unbelievable. The amount of depth, the amount of guys that made plays today. Like, I was asking Barry Trammell this, like, when was the last time Oklahoma had a defense this good? I mean, is it, and Trammell said 2009. I think this group's better than the 2009 defense.
I think they might be deeper.
Here's the thing. 2009 defense was good, but that offense was terrible. So you really didn't get to see their true potential. They didn't have a guy that could catch the ball besides Ryan Broyles on that roster, remember?
But like, Carey,
here's the thing. I think it is the best defense since 2001. When Roy Williams last year, the year they played Arkansas in the Cotton Bowl, I think this is the best defense since then.
And Carey, I was telling Eddie, one of the biggest differences with this group, because I think last year's defense was really good.
It was, yeah.
And they've had defenses that have been really good, but they've never had defenses that do what this group does. That, like today, for example, they give up the touchdown drive to go down 21-20. The offense goes 3 and out, and the defense comes back, and in that moment, it's like, well, last year's group probably gives up another touchdown drive, and the game's over, or a field goal, and it feels like the game's over. They get a 3 and out. The offense gets the ball back again. They have to punt again. They call that stupid toss sweep on 3rd and 2. They have to punt again, and then they get the strip sack. Like, This defense just keeps coming up with plays that keep the team alive.
And by the way, it was Taylor Wine that was replacing R. Mason.
Yeah, Taylor Wine. Talk about, he's fucking unbelievable. Like, they've
developed. This is what George and I were talking about this on the way home. It's like they developed all of these guys.
Yeah.
Whether it be a Taylor Wine, whether it be a PJ Edibore, whether it be an Owen Heineke.
R. Mason Thomas. R. Mason Thomas was committed to Iowa State.
Sure.
I mean, and Taylor Wine was nobody.
And Marvin Jones Jr. was just a guy at Florida State.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over the field.
And on top of that, you have guys like Jaden Hardy making a lot of plays. The punt return, I feel like that's as textbook as it could possibly get. Michael Boganowski's out there making plays. Eli Bowen's
Davon Jordan with the sack.
Yes.
George said it on the instant reaction, Carey. Brent Venables was in his bag tonight. Yeah. I thought that they threw, that was such a big talking point this week. Is OU going to really try to light up Ty Simpson, or are they going to just try to almost stay back, keep everything in front of you, that really good wide receiver group? I thought in the first half they threw the entire kitchen sink at him, and I think that we saw there in the second half,
they kind of adjusted. Like Ty Simpson kind of adjusted to it, and he started hitting the tight end over the middle, and like he started getting rid of the ball to an outlet receiver. Yeah. And there was one point I was like, Brent, you're being too aggressive. Like, you're turning into Manny Diaz here. But eventually he kind of backed it off. He started dropping more guys, and he would do delayed blitzes with corners or linebackers. But he managed it really well. Like, he didn't get flustered. He just kept calling the game. And Ty Simpson, like, by the time it was over, he was rattled. Like, the throws that he made there in the fourth, throwing into the dirt, when a guy was wide open, like, his footwork started to slip as the game went on. They got to him.
Yeah. In that defense, we're looking at the box score here. I
think they had 10 QB hurries at halftime, is what they said on television.
They were living in the backfield, but I'm just looking at the time of possession. The fact that the defense was on the field for 34 minutes and 28 seconds is crazy.
It felt like OU offensively didn't even play in the first quarter.
Yeah. It was a lot like the Tennessee game.
Yeah. And it's incredible that they have so many guys on that defensive side of the ball that I think, in an almost kind of psychotic kind of way, they believe in everything that they're doing. And I know that we laugh and we make fun of them when they come in. They're talking about how much they believe in Brent after games.
I don't know if we make fun of them.
Not make fun of them, but mock them, I think, in a way. They're not just saying that. They believe that shit.
You know what? Here's something in the game, and it's a sequence I think people are going to forget about. But you have the play where I think it was, I want to say it was Reggie Powers knocked the ball loose, and Kobe McKenzie had a chance to fall on it, and he tried to pick it up, and it ended up going out of bounds. I was so mad at Kobe McKenzie. I was like, just fall on the fucking ball. What are you doing? And that could break a lot of teams in the past. But guess what happened the rest of the way? Eli Bowen steps up and pick sixes it on that drive.
It was the next play.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
just
sure.
Erases
I'm pretty sure it was the next play.
Well, no, I think.
It was the next play. It was the next play.
Yeah, it was the next play. And then the very next series, Robert Spears-Jennings looks like he had a pick in the end zone, and Kendall Daniels interfered with a guy he didn't need to interfere with because it was just a bad throw from Ty Simpson. But
yeah, he threw it right to him. You know what, though, Carey? You know what they really could have used, though, tonight?
R. Mason Thomas.
Kendall Dolby playing safety.
Yeah. I told you guys, if they make a national, I threw that hypothetical out there. I got killed for it.
Well, I'm joking, right?
No, I don't. No, they didn't. They didn't need another safety. They were great tonight. I mean,
no, they were.
Reggie
Powers.
Phenomenal. Here's the thing: Reggie Powers stepped up. All that stuff we were worried about without having Gentry Williams and him being so good in the screen game. Reggie Powers took care of that. There was one missed tackle he had. It was a really bad one. But for the most part, he was tattooing guys and getting through blockers and getting those guys on the screen.
Gary, I mentioned it to Eddie. How big is it? How big has it been getting Eli Bowen back?
Oh my God! How much did we forget how good he is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eli's really good. I thought I still think Cortland's. I
had
thought
a good
played
game.
well.
Yeah.
He kind of got away with a little bit of maybe a pass interference. I know the crowd went crazy there in the first.
They were
quarter.
both hand fighting.
Tell Alabama to go watch that Tennessee game with that tight end pushing off and him getting called for it last week.
I mean, we talked about how good that wide receiver group is. I thought Jacoby Johnson came in and made a couple really nice plays. Devon Jordan, the cornerback blitz, he had another play that helping in the run game. I believe on that same series, maybe even the first play of that series there in the fourth quarter. There's just so many guys that there's so many guys that you can list that all had some type of contribution tonight, and it's just I don't know. It's kind of special the way that they've been able to not just turn the defense around in general, but we're talking about a defense that might be one of the better ones in the country. And for Brent to be able to fall back on that, rely on his defense, it's just I don't know. It's shocking in a way the way that they've gone in and won these games, because I think that if you would have said that they were going to go 2-0 in Knoxville and Tuscaloosa, in my mind, I probably would have thought that the offense was going to have to play extremely well. They ran the ball a little bit better. It hurt getting Xavier, Robinson knocked out of the game, but I don't know. It's in a very fun spot now moving forward into the rest of the month of November, knowing that Oklahoma has 2 home games and they could possibly clinch a spot, not just in the playoffs, but clinch a home game in the playoffs, which is just the thought of that is remarkable in a way, especially when you knew how they lost like the Texas game or the Ole Miss game, and it just felt like they were never going to be able to get over the hump with Brent as the head coach. And it's quite frankly, it's the exact opposite. Like they've started playing better, and I think that the one thing that we always talked about with Bob's teams and even Lincoln's teams in a way, Carey, they got better every week, and it seems like this group in a way, maybe as a team, is getting better each week.
Well, this team, I mean, it gets better on both sides of the ball. Like Lincoln's teams would just get better on offense.
Sure.
Like defense, it was never really asked of them to just. It was just asked of them, hey, just stop sucking as much.
I think that, and George mentioned it at the beginning. I have no idea how you could calculate this. I think that's the best special teams game by an OU football team that I can ever remember. Like, even I thought there was a play in the third quarter. Taylor Heim made a play on a punt coverage, just running down and making a tackle. But it was an incredible play. I'll put it in the sights and sounds. Like, Tate Sandell's unbelievable. George, do you want to opine? Because you had a pretty good comment on the Ray Guy voters.
Before you do that,
in the Lost Pod.
Before you do that, George, I do want to talk about this, but want to remind you guys, this is the Eskridge Lexus Postgame Podcast. And Eskridge Lexus, they're very proud to be the official travel partner and sponsor of the Sooner Scoop Postgame Podcast. They're happy to send George or Eddie in a new Lexus when on the road covering the Sooners. Check EskridgeLexus.com for the most up-to-date inventories, including all new Lexus and Lexus L certified vehicles, or to book your next service appointment. It's great. You go on the website. If the car's in inventory, you can look at the actual pictures of it, look at the interior, look at the exterior. It's a great website at EskridgeLexus.com. All Lexus L certified vehicles come with an unlimited mile full factory warranty with up to 6 years of coverage. L certified cars also come with 4 free services, free car washes, and use of a brand new Lexus loaner vehicle while your car is in our service department. Eddie had to do that recently to get new tires. And unlike other dealers, Eskridge Lexus never charges a dock fee or makes you pay for accessories that you really don't want. But like I said, I really want the Lexus umbrella. Visit EskridgeLexus.com or call 405-755-9000. That's 405-755-9000. And really, after this one, I expect a lot of people to respond to Ed's last text here. Boomer, there you go. Thanks to Eskridge Lexus and your great sponsorship over the years for the post-game podcast. But no, Tate Sandell, 3 field goals tonight. I think 25, 52, and 24 was the last one that came with, I want to say 13:41 left in the game to make it 23-21, and then the faucet shut off. No more scoring after that.
Yeah, Tate Sandell was awesome. I did want to talk about Grayson Miller. How in the world is he not on the Ray Guy finalist or semifinalist, whatever the list is right now? That is ridiculous. I mean, that he didn't even make, I think it's semifinalists. The fact that he wasn't named like one of the top, I think it's like top 20 or so punters in the country, and that is asinine. Whoever is on that committee should be fired.
Well said. Well said.
Well, I mean, he was amazing tonight. Like, he pinned him a couple times, and then the one at the end of the game. I mean, to pin him inside the 10-yard line right there, that was massive.
Yeah, at the 6 right there. No, he was great tonight, but I mean, he was also bad at South Carolina.
He had one bad punt.
Didn't he have like an 18-yarder at Temple too?
I can't remember. I'm looking up the stats, though, nationally right now where he is in punting, and I bet he's still towards the top in the country.
I'd be interested to hear that.
I know that they
Grayson Miller, he's 9th in the country in punting yard average, 47.13, just 2 yards behind the leader.
Even who's on the semifinalist list?
Here's the problem. In the Sooners' last 2 biggest games, George, the defense has given the offense the ball in such great field position. They really haven't needed to punt.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I mean, if you're watching the games, though, like whoever these morons are, if they would watch the games, they would know that he's been really effing good.
Well, sometimes, like me, you're a Lombardi voter, but you can't watch every other game because you're covering one team.
Well, then just look, but okay, you can't watch every game, then look up the stats. Oh, Grayson Miller, 9th in the country.
I don't like that, though. I would rather see, and I just...
Well, then these people shouldn't be on the committee.
Well, and that's what I do. I don't vote because I can't sit here and watch those guys with the eye test, and I would be... That's the way it is. Like, all these guys are just... They're relying on just going and looking at stats so that it looks like they're doing their job.
Well, they clearly didn't look at the stats either.
I mean, you need people voting on these things that aren't beat writers, that aren't covering specific, like you need like the Andy Staple. Well, I'm sure Andy doesn't have time, but like Ari Wasserman or something. I mean, you need people that are watching all these games.
The semifinalist, there were.
Let SEC Mike do it.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 names. It's Brett Thorson from Georgia, Daniel Hughes from New Mexico, Dante Ayton from Temple, who I thought was like one of the worst punters ever in the Temple game.
Oh, when they played, yeah.
Yeah, Evan Crenshaw, Jackson Ross from Tennessee, James Rendell from Notre Dame, Luke Freer from Air Force.
The Temple punter ranks 68th in the country in punt average.
Wow.
How is he on this list?
It's crazy. Kid from Vanderbilt, kid from Baylor, and the kid from Iowa State are the semifinalists.
So whoever votes on the raid guy is just stupid.
You want me to grind my axe on that this week, George?
I mean, I'm already grinding it.
No, we need to focus on positives. Lou Groza winner, Tate Sandell.
If he doesn't win the Lou Groza, it's
rigged. Yeah, it's rigged like that first half of Texas A&M and South Carolina.
He has single-handedly basically helped them win both these games. They do not win this game without Tate Sandell.
100%. And I think that you saw kind of like we saw over the last couple of weeks with Oklahoma running into the locker room in Knoxville. Like the missed field goal, like Alabama's field goal situation is awful.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What's a bigger SEC road win this year? Alabama at Georgia or Oklahoma at Alabama?
OU at Alabama.
Do you think that's bigger than Alabama going and beating Georgia?
I think that they're both equally as big, but I think
for OU's program.
Absolutely.
For sure.
No, I just meant on the national stage. Like if you say SEC, who has the best road win this year? It's one of those two, right?
Carey, I think it's kind of, it would almost be viewed in like two different lenses, because I think for this one tonight, you have people, like a Brandon Walker out there that are basically making videos saying, "Whoa, I spent 2 years talking shit on Brent Venables in the OU program."
I saw that video tonight, yeah.
Maybe they're turning a corner, as opposed to like Alabama beating Georgia. I think was more of like these are just two great programs, and Alabama made more plays. Like the 4th and 1 for Georgia. Obviously, maybe things change if they're able to execute that. I don't know. I think both sides could be debated.
And you know what number 3 is in the SEC this year? OU beating Tennessee.
It's up there, yeah.
Carey,
it's right there.
Carey, you want a really good stat?
Sure.
OU now has 4 ranked wins. Okay.
Right, 4, and I think I saw this stat. Yeah,
the most in the country.
Tied for most in the country.
Any team. Ohio State and Indiana have combined for 0.
Wow.
It's also the most.
How's that possible? Ohio State beat Texas.
Beat Texas, yeah.
Oh, well then maybe
I thought it was they were combined. Indiana and Ohio State are combined for the same. Because Indiana beat Oregon.
That's what it was. That's what it was. So I asked that.
So OU and Indiana are both combined for 4 ranked wins.
The other stat, I put this in one of my stories, the 212 yards that OU had.
Yeah, that's the one I was.
It was, what is it, the 4th fewest since 2000 a team won in a Power 4 game. And I think the other one was, it was the first time OU won with that few yards since 2001 against Texas.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think if we're going to talk about the offense, there were some interesting things that happened. I mean, I'm trying to think when OU took it over first, when they got to 1st and goal. I'm trying to look at my charts here to see exactly what point the game was.
They ran it 3 times.
They ran it 3 times, and the third run was so disjointed. It felt like that Ole Miss, and I think you even mentioned again, Satania wasn't in the game on that play.
Yeah, I think they were trying to maybe do. I don't know if Arbuckle. I wasn't over there for Arbuckle. Maybe he talked about this, but I thought maybe they were trying to do a jump pass on that play.
Yeah.
Because Gibson
Mateer was just was so unsure of himself. I mean,
yeah. And I think Mateer was like, I just cannot turn the ball over here.
Yeah.
And so he just ate it. But still, I didn't think the play calling was particularly great there. I also thought the play call. I think I said it earlier, but the 3rd and 2. Where, I mean, I don't understand the toss sweep to the short side of the field with Torrey Blaylock, who I don't think Torrey Blaylock's healthy at all. And then the other play call I thought that was bad was they get the EPL gets the false start, which was not good. You get the 3rd and 9.
And then the grounding.
At that point, Carey, Mateer had started to really connect with some guys. He was hitting Jermichael Carter. He was finding Giovanni Gibson. Like, he was picking apart Alabama's defense. I was like, let him sit back there. They were protecting well. Let him sit back there and try and make a play. Instead, they tried to run that screen pass to Satania, and they just had to eat it, and Mateer gets the bad penalty. Like, I didn't like that play call either.
So
they're not very good on offense.
This was my drive that just made me think, like, oh my God, Ben Arbuckle kind of needs to go back to the drawing board on some of what he's looking at, because here's what it was. They got the PI. Alabama got called for a PI, so it became 1st and goal from the 10. And so the third quarter ends at 2nd and goal from the 9. They come out, and then they run that play, and the offense, it just looked like way too often this offense looks like a mess. That was a terrible 3rd down play. And then they were down 21-20 at that point, and that's when Tate Sandell comes in and kicks the field goal and puts them ahead 23-21. That was with 13:41 remaining in the game. And that really could have been costly if not for the defense, just going ham on him. I mean, it was just like that could have been really costly, and it didn't end up. And that's kind of the story of the night. The offense did a lot of stuff that should have cost them, but the defense didn't allow it to happen.
Yeah, and they got to figure some of that stuff out. And you have, I do think there were some moments in the second half that you're like, okay, Mateer looks pretty comfortable. Like, he's completing some big. He had one on, it was like a 3rd and long, where he scrambled a little bit and he stepped up in the pocket and threw a dart to Satania down the field. You guys remember that one? I think they ended up kicking a field goal.
Well, here was the thing. So they go up 23-21. And Alabama's facing a 3rd and 5. That's when they send Devon Jordan in, and he gets the sack. And then Mateer comes back. They have to give it up. Mateer comes back, and he makes 2 big 1st down completions to Giovanni Gibson. And then that's when EPL gets the false start. That was 7:38. And then Mateer gets the grounding on 3rd down. And then I put JFC with 3 exclamation marks. And then Grayson Miller punts the ball to the 5-yard line. That was his moment. That was with 7:14 remaining in the game, and that made it to where I was curious of a lot of Alabama calls on offense. I know it's a new coaching staff, but like the trickery that they do and the stuff that they do that's just so non-Alabama. It's just like misdirection, and like when they put
Proctor.
Caden Ford in the background or in the backfield, and then they ran that wide on 4th down, and they barely got it, but they did get it. Like that's just
that was a badass play.
It was a badass play, but they pointed out that they did that 2 years ago at Washington. But it's like that's so weird to see Alabama doing that. But I get it. Like you need to do things and be aggressive and do some stuff that gets you an advantage over another team, especially one that's as good as Oklahoma defensively. But at the same time, I felt like when they took the ball over at 7:38, that was when the defense really buckled down. They couldn't get more than 2 or 3 yards a carry, and it just seemed like they didn't show enough urgency. I think they thought that they were going to run out the clock and have a chance to kick the game-winning field goal, and the defense just
100%.
never let that materialize.
100%. And I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but they're going into that 2-minute warning. They played Dixieland Delight. There was an incredible light show with the red.
Oh yeah, they came back from a commercial with that. Yeah.
And I was sitting there with Josh Calloway, and we were like, man, this is it. Like I don't know how OU walks out of this with a win. And then little do we know that Brent dials it up with Kip. He comes right through the middle. He gets him down. Could have been an incredible play by Simpson if he would have gotten out of that. But obviously, it's all of a sudden it was 2nd and 21, and by then, or 3rd and 21, and by then it was like, you got 2 plays and you're going to win this fucking game. And even after they picked up the 15, 16 yards on 3rd and 21, I thought, oh God, that's going to be the narrative of this game, is they're going to give up another big passing play or whatever. It just it was a special performance. And I thought the offensive line, for the most part, I thought they played pretty well. And for those guys to walk into that stadium and only have the one false start, albeit it was in an incredibly important moment, that's a pretty damn good job. I mean, that the future is so incredibly bright on that side of the ball. Or at least for that
Fasusi had a holding call that was kind of, I guess it was right, but I mean, it was a very, the ref was definitely looking for a holding call when he called that. But you're right. They played really well. I think some of the, I think Xavier Robinson kind of got banged up a little bit in the middle of that game. And as you guys are saying, it's clear that Torrey Blaylock is still not healthy, which is surprising when we know what he played through early in the season. Like it must be something, pretty serious. I mean, in terms of keeping him from looking like he can look. But, that's the other thing. It's like 2 more games. They're really thin at running back right now. Dare I say, could Jade not be a factor in this thing before it's all said and done?
We said the same thing in the car. We said the same thing. Based on body language, I would say that would be a no.
Oh, my God.
But I don't know.
Hey, real quick, Eddie, before you get it, to save that, I want to mention you guys, we always talk on this show and on the Unofficial 40 about, I think all of us, we would hire a personal chef if we could. It would just make our lives so much easier. We're all so busy. It's hard to find time to eat, especially eat things that are healthy. But Factor has been a good sponsor of the pod over the last couple of years. They've got tons of variety, tons of meals. You can choose from a really wide selection of weekly meal options. George has had a lot of it. I've had a lot of it. You can get, you can go seafood with salmon and shrimp. You can go, really heavy proteins with a lot of steaks. I love their fillets. Treat yourself to one of those every once in a while. But a lot of global flavors. They've got Asian-inspired meals. Inspired by China and Thailand and more. And it's great nutrition. That's why 97% of their customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier lifestyle. I know, George, you and Aaron have had some recently, and you really enjoyed it. But here's the thing. Eat smart at factormeals.com/Sooners50off. That's factormeals.com/Sooners50off, and use code Sooners50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code Sooners50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. And I don't know, George, you've had it a lot. I've had it a lot. A lot of that stuff is really good when you kind of get into a groove. You find out what you really like, and it's pretty enjoyable to come home and eat a quick meal.
Carey, I actually had the herb chicken the other day with like rice. I think it was with. It was really good.
Yeah, their herb chicken is great,
and it's really good. You know, Erin sometimes she has to work late, and she's a great cook. But when she's not there, the Factor always comes in handy. So I use it pretty regularly sometimes. And
yeah, and you get to go pick all that stuff and thumb through what they've got. They got tons of different proteins to offer you. You'll see it.
And it's super easy.
Yeah, you'll
super
see
easy to cook.
And it comes right to your house. You put it in the fridge, and it's a really quick meal. So thanks to Factor. Again, go to factormeals.com/Sooners. What did I have there? I'm sorry. Factormeals.com/Sooners50off. That's 50 Sooners50 off. Use that code Sooners50 off. Sooners50 off. All right, Eddie. I'm sorry I sidetracked you there. Go ahead. I know you had something you wanted to throw out. If you remember it at all.
I kind of forgot what we were talking about.
That's natural.
Just in terms of the offensive line, Carey, I thought that they played pretty well, all things considered, and it's I don't know. I'm still excited about what this thing could be moving on into the future. Obviously, they're going to have to pay a bunch of these guys, and good for Derek Simmons to get back out on the field because after the concussion thing that sidelined him for the last 3 weeks, I truly didn't know if he was ever going to play.
We were worried about medical retirement. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I'm eating a piece of pizza trying to reheat.
I thought Jermichael Carter came up with some
big Jermichael Carter
plays tonight.
Well, he and Giovanni Gibson, they both made really crucial
shout
plays.
Out Giovanni. He made some plays, and I think that's kind of what George was talking about. Like in the second half there, I thought that there were moments where Mateer had really kind of found his groove, found the rhythm of the offense, and I thought that they started moving the ball. What was it on the possession right out of halftime? You get the ball all the way out to midfield, and then I think was it a chop block that put him behind the chains?
Yeah, but on
Caden Helms
canceling that because it was a third down.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I did want to mention our guy, Eddie's guy, now my guy, Will Douglas from Cody Drug RX. He wanted to throw out a special message. He was fired up. He was there tonight, right, Eddie?
Oh yeah, they were there.
He said, he wanted a special message. He's earned this because he's a sponsor of one of our main sponsors of the Unofficial 40. He said, I just want the haters to know that whatever candy-ass head coach they think is better than BV ain't going into Tuscaloosa and winning tonight. So that kind of goes back to what we're talking about. Like, look, I tweeted this out. Like, OU is in a really good place right now. I know, we've been up and down, and it's nice that the board has kind of settled down. And I've seen a few people try and say you're getting hoodwinked or whatever. Very few people though are really going after Brent, saying he's not the guy now. But you look at, as I said, you look at what's going on at Florida. You look at what's going on in all these openings in the SEC. Who are you getting? And the thing about this is that is so big, I think, for the OU program, George, is that Brent has been building this, and it hasn't been paying off. But this is stuff that's been building. It's not an instant transformation. It never was. But you see, like you talked about the defense and how together these guys seem. Like we talked to these guys, and I've never thought that this was a team that was fractured or wasn't on the same page. They all seem to always, like each other. They seem to have a common goal of being great on a football field. And I think Brent does a great job of instilling that in them. And then when you add in the fact that, on his side of the ball on defense, that's what the offense has to get to, is where you have a guy that is a backup, comes in and makes, is a playmaker. That's what they have on defense that's so special that we've never seen really develop at Oklahoma to this level. If they could do that on offense, then you're talking about the next Alabama.
Yeah. And again, we're getting very far ahead of ourselves here talking about next Alabama. But, I think that in terms of building a program, that is the next step. And this is like a big opportunity. These next couple weeks, getting to the playoff, like the momentum that could carry for your program is massive. I mean, we saw it years ago when they made the playoff in 2015, and what that did for the program moving forward, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And I know Josh, he talked to some recruits and stuff, but like it's just going to pay huge dividends. And Brent talked about some of that tonight, just like, and you said it, Carey, like there was never any sort of fracturing, even last year. Like there was, as bad as they were a year ago, like there was still a ton of belief in the direction of the thing. I mean, look how many guys came back. Look how many guys that decided, especially on defense, to be like, well, we're sticking this thing out. Like the David Stones of the world, R. Mason Thomas coming back, like all of those guys still believing in this. And then Brent even said, and the people that they brought in from the portal and the high school kids that said, we still believe in what you guys are pitching at Oklahoma. There's a lot of belief inside there right now. And if you can go win these last 2 games, host a playoff game, or just play in the playoffs, maybe win a game or 2, like that could go so far for your program. So,
well, and I was thinking about this today too, George. Like, what about I don't know if anybody cares about this, but what about the donors? I mean, the guys that did make that big payday to R. Mason Thomas, that did go out there, and even though it hasn't worked out, get a Jade Knott. I mean,
I know of one that was a very, 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 very happy man, because I talked to him down on the field.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And he has a building named after him on campus, if that's a good hint.
But no, I mean, like those guys have been putting their money into it while the fans have been, sitting there saying this sucks, find somebody else. I think what people don't realize is they do have that personal relationship with Brent. They do have behind the scenes access. They know how the program is. They see some of the things that we see about kind of the cohesion and, not being fractured. And that, there are some good things happening from a culture standpoint, but they're not seeing the wins on the field, but they've invested in this thing. And to know that those guys are out there tonight going like, oh shit, all that money paid off. Like, I feel kind of good for those guys, even though, they're rich as fuck and, they probably don't care what I think.
No, it's just, I'll say it again. Like, I just think that it's not the way that they won and the fact that they won these last 2 games. I think it's almost a bigger even moment or statement or whatever you want to call it, that they went and did it at, in my mind, of 2 of the, premier SEC kind of flagship schools. And certainly Tuscaloosa, it can be debated on Tennessee. I'm sure that people will take that the wrong way, but
as an environment, it's a difficult place to play.
It feels bigger than it really is, and I feel like it's pretty fucking big. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
No, I don't. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I think what he's saying is it is validation.
These last 3 weeks are, I feel like, the biggest 3 weeks in my life of OU football. You don't think that's true?
Here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying, though, from like where this was.
But here's the thing, and I heard guys talk about on ESPN tonight, we're still in this mentality of win every game or it doesn't matter. Yeah. This is very similar to Red October if they end up winning out, because this is just a big of a transformational moment for OU. I mean, let's face it, people out there have been embarrassed to be OU fans, to have to listen to other people in the SEC say, see, all that stuff you accomplished before you got here didn't mean shit, because now you're in the SEC and you're playing big boy football and you can't handle it. And we always knew you couldn't handle it, because I'm sure there are a lot of OU fans that are like, OSU, they wouldn't survive in this conference, or anyone that they played in the Big 12 that they didn't like you couldn't survive in this conference. Like, it's just that mentality that builds, and I think now people are like, okay, I'm not embarrassed to go to my office in Dallas and face the UT, or face the Tennessee fans or the Bama fans that might be there. Like, it's just been, I think a lot of the resentment towards Brent has just been that it has made their lives kind of miserable from being able to brag about their team. Like, they just lost that in their lives.
Yeah. And I think it it heightened even more when you were the other team that came to this conference and the team that came along with you had that immediate success.
Yeah, that made it worse.
And they're in a semifinal. And even though they're your biggest rival, you had a massive amount of success against that team. Like, I think that it
was
just
a
kind
kick
of
in the nuts.
Out.
Yeah.
And again, like Georgia said, like they have to go find ways to beat Missouri and beat LSU. Like this,
all this is for naught. Yeah,
in the playoff all of a sudden because they have these two unbelievable wins. But I think that there is like a certain amount of like tangible evidence, if you will, that like you can look at and go, this is working. Brent and this staff seemingly have done an incredible job. Like, let me ask you guys this. Mike Elko probably wins SEC Coach of the Year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After today.
Brent's in that conversation, though, right?
If there was a comeback Coach of the Year, he would win it.
Sure.
But I think that
can Brent win Can Brent win?
If A&M goes 12-0, he's going to win this.
Can Brent win the Broyles Award as the best defensive coordinator? Best assistant, best coordinator?
That'd be funny if he could.
Doug Deacon should be up for special teams, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say because
but Carey, to go off of Eddie's question, I was trying to name in the car how many all SEC guys is Oklahoma going to end up with?
Oh man, I mean, if Eli Bowen had been healthy the entire season, he'd be all SEC. I think.
Who's that?
Eli Bowen, if he'd been healthy all season, I think he'd be all SEC.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana.
I think Cortland Guillory should be freshman all SEC. But I think is Jaden Jackson? Has he done enough?
No, David Stone might be though. But
David Stone and
everybody just looks at it's like
R. Mason.
It's like what we talked about with the Ray Guy. Everybody's just going to look at the stats. Like Kip Lewis isn't going to be in the top probably like even 20 tacklers in the league, but he's one of the best linebackers in the SEC.
I mean, hey, Brent sent him on a mission tonight, didn't he?
He was awesome.
Brent was just like, you're my guy. Get your ass to the quarterback. And he just kept sending him. And he kept getting there.
He's a psycho. Yeah. I got video. I'll put it in the sights and sounds. Hopefully it comes out. But during that fourth quarter when they went like complete lights off in the red, takes over the stadium or whatever, the lights are blinking and stuff.
Yeah.
Kip Lewis is just like running around the field. Like I don't think that you would be able to see him if you weren't looking for it. He was literally just running in circles around on the field.
By the way, I just got to say,
he does that Mac Hollins thing too before the game where he comes out, and I might ask him about this if we talk to him this week. He comes out and just walks around the field barefoot, and it's every game.
Huh. Interesting. That's almost like Kyrie and Sage, maybe. A little holistic thing.
Yeah.
By the way,
he's a psycho.
It's just kind of one of those things he does. Speaking of psychos, talked to Danny a little bit tonight.
Oh, yeah, he was down there today. I saw that.
Yeah, it was good to see him. He was wearing Brent gave him I don't think they can get in trouble for this. Brent gave him his like sideline pass. Because I don't think that Danny had anything to like get down on the sidelines, and it's very strict at Alabama.
Yeah,
like who comes in and who comes out onto the field. Yeah. And he was just wearing around Brent's credential. It was kind of funny.
I've been thinking about this for the last 5 minutes that we've been talking. I mean, how fucking awesome is this next home game going to be at Oklahoma?
That's what I said.
How amazing is this crowd going to be? And I know it's 11 a.m.
Beat Alabama in back-to-back years in the last 15 years. Ole Miss 2014, 2015, Michigan 2023, 24, and Oklahoma. Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
But I mean, look, the crowds have been fantastic all year. I mean, fantastic. This might be the best. I don't know. It's Missouri, so it's not a marquee opponent, and it's not like
there's some vitriol between OU and Missouri,
people
and especially
hate
the way that game ended last year. The Eli Drinkwitz and some of the stuff that he has said before about Oklahoma
going after Stoops too.
Yeah,
I hope Stoops is there on the sideline. I would love it if Bob was just watching that game as the seconds ticked away, and OU had won pretty handily.
I think it should be fun. Like I think that everybody realizes kind of what the position that they're in now, and it's kind of special that they get both of these games at home, as well as OU's played on the road. They're now 4-0 in true road games this year. But it's just it's a special moment for the fan base that I feel like has been like yearning for this moment.
By the way,
for a long time.
Oh yeah,
it's within grasping distance.
Yeah, I mean I think it's going to be insane. And I saw OU sent out like their post game newsletter or whatever that I get, and there's still tickets available. So go get yourself some tickets.
Go to Game Time.
Otherwise, you're going to go to Game Time. Yeah, I mean.
Should we do we allow ourselves to dream about potential playoff matchups yet, or do we wait for that?
Let's talk about kind of what I don't know. I know you guys didn't get to see a lot today, but there's some interesting shit that happened today.
Let's just start with the 11 a.m. games. South Carolina.
Wow.
What the fuck? I love Shane Beamer.
I know.
I'm biased about Shane.
No, but it's hard to watch it. It's hard to watch that shit unfold because he has.
How does that happen?
He has good talent. He puts together good game plans, and then they fucking fall apart on him every week.
How do you let? Like, I think that they're like, even for the best of the best teams, there's a certain number when you're down by that much. You're just not going to come back. He went for it on fourth
anybody. When he was in field goal range today. I mean, like that might have been what put them over the top. I mean, they didn't score a single point in the second half, Eddie.
I know. It's incredible. It's incredible.
I think they got to fire Shane, and I love Shane. And OU should hire him to be their tight ends coach.
Oh God, it'd be incredible.
Yeah. That's what I'd call him, but just horrific. And I'm interested where I kind of think, I was sitting there watching the game.
Isn't there a rumor that Sellers is going to take a big NIL deal with somebody else?
I don't know. I don't know how good he is.
Yeah.
Like, he's a great athlete. I don't think he sees shit on the field. Like he's
no Marcel Reed. I mean, Marcel Reed was just unbelievable in the second half.
Yeah, he was. He
looked like shit in the first half, and he became a totally different person at halftime.
What I saw in the first half,
they did, but he also just threw the ball to the other team.
By the way, how about the fucking trooper today?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh my God,
crazy.
What a we don't need to get into.
So he got sent home.
Yeah,
they saw the video and they said you no longer work this event.
That guy's a loser.
Why was he so mad at Harbor?
Because he just scored a 78-yard touchdown.
Mood.
Yeah.
Well, he just ran a 70. He just had a 79-yard touchdown. That's why he was up in the tunnel, because he kind of pulled his hammy as he was finishing off. So he like slowly kind of sauntered up into the tunnel, and his teammates went to go get him. And that cop he was looking for trouble. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And that's the thing. It's like, you want to say, oh, man, A&M, what a great story. But they always do something like that where you're just like, God, what a bunch of fucking assholes.
How about our good friend Lincoln Riley up in L.A. today?
They beat Oregon next week. They would be on the short list of
they'll get in.
Very possible, well, not just getting in, but playing in Norman.
By the way, George, you wrote the article this week. What's the poison pill situation with Texas that screws Oklahoma or messes with them a little bit?
Well, not now because they've lost.
Beating A&M? What if they beat A&M though? I think they can beat A&M.
Yeah, but even then, if OU's 10-2,
yeah,
Texas could get in at. I don't know.
think Texas could get. We did the math earlier.
Is Texas the biggest 9-3 favorite if they beat A&M now?
See, this is where it gets like so. George and I went over the teams that we think we'll just call them locks, if you will.
Well, not locks, but like
most
they're
likely
expected to win out.
Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. Those are probably your 3 Big Ten teams, right?
Yes. And then
we'll throw whatever G5 teams you want to throw in.
James, hold on.
That's 4.
That's 4. And then you have
Alabama or Georgia,
Alabama, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, A&M. And then you have then after that, I don't know, or Texas Tech.
You get 1 ACC team in. It boils down.
There's going to be 1 or 2 spots.
2 spots, and it's going to be
like
Notre Dame, Miami.
Yeah,
at both 10-2. Miami beat Notre Dame.
Vanderbilt. If Vanderbilt's 10-2,
they could go to Tennessee and win.
Yeah. And then Tennessee. What happens if Tennessee beats Vanderbilt, and you have Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Texas all at 9-3?
Sorry, I just asked you that question because I wanted to go pour myself another drink.
Okay.
I don't know what you said, but I'm sure it was interesting.
Well, we broke down the entire playoff of who could get in. So it just could get really interesting. And that's when it's like, well, who could Oklahoma play? We were joking with some of the Alabama writers. I mean,
could rematch?
Alabama come to Norman?
I don't think it'll get to that. Who's Alabama got left?
Auburn.
They play their FCS team next week.
Oh, okay.
They play Auburn.
You know, Tennessee didn't look that good against New Mexico State tonight. I mean, they won convincingly when you look at the score, but...
Who's that?
Tennessee.
Oh, they played Tennessee Tech.
No, they played New Mexico State.
It's going to come down to
Oh, Alabama plays Tennessee Tech.
No, Kentucky played Tennessee Tech today.
Oh, I was saying Tennessee played New Mexico State today, and they didn't look all that
Tennessee
outstanding.
Did.
But my point is like the way it's playing out right now, if everybody takes care of business, which somebody probably won't, but if they do, like there's going to be like 1 or 2 spots, and it's going to come down to, do they put a Miami in? Do they put a BYU in? Like, do you take a 9-3 Texas, a 10-2 Vanderbilt, or a 9-3 Vanderbilt? Like, or
I feel like BYU is going to be that team that slides in the second team from the Big 12. I mean, Utah.
They could. I think that
Utah
there's definitely a chance of
Utah
that.
got out big against Baylor, and then they kind of came back into it. I mean, my God, is there a bigger? I mean, like we talk about how bad things are with these coaching searches and like Hugh Freeze and Auburn and how bad that got. Is Baylor the biggest dumpster fire in college football right now?
It's pretty bad.
I mean,
the Mac Rhodes thing. I mean, leave of absence.
That's so
when he
weird.
was the chair of the college football playoff committee. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. I don't want to. It could be something that's very serious, and I don't want to make light of it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he was cheating on his wife.
What?
Oh my God. Huh?
That's I might have to delete that.
Why?
Is that really out there?
Yeah.
It's he's having an affair.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that.
I mean, that's what they were talking about when they were saying that it went against the church views or whatever.
Oh, because it's a Baptist school. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what's been reported.
Okay, I thought it was the Eddie Network for a second there.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what's has been out there. Wasn't there somebody
Trey
Wallace put that out there.
Okay,
and not like verbatim, but if you read between the lines, that's what it meant.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, Baylor's embarrassing. Oklahoma State's going to go 2 years without winning a conference game, Carey.
I don't even
just as
Oklahoma State.
As I'm just saying, as residents of the state of Oklahoma, it's hard for me to imagine how that's possible. That they're going to have not won a game in the Big 12 since OU left. Like, how's that possible?
I have found a hard time with the Big 12. Like, all those teams that OU was battling with, over these Baylor and Oklahoma State and Kansas State, Iowa State, like, they're all falling apart as programs.
Well, they're just not. I mean, and the best players don't want to go play in that league. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's almost like I didn't think about it that way, but I guess Oklahoma and Texas leaving took a lot of legitimacy away from that league.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of it. I mean, that was the whole point of why.
I guess I just didn't expect that to happen. I thought that, Iowa State would still be getting the, Charlie Kolars of the world and evaluating really well. And I mean, Oklahoma State, I think NIL hurt them more than anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, they didn't have their shit together at all. And that's why Texas Tech's thriving. It's because they have the NIL. Like, they're going to dominate.
And that's why BYU's playing. They have money. I mean, the Mormons have money.
Yeah. Yeah, Mormons do have money. How about Texas getting their shit kicked in? That was a close game.
That was a good game for a while, but they definitely
the onside
folded.
Kick was a ballsy move.
Oh, you could tell, like, it pissed Sarkisian off, but he was also like, I respect the hustle.
Yeah, I just don't think Texas is very good. I think they're a solid football team, but they're
limited by how good Arch is. I mean, to be honest, Arch is a solid quarterback, but he is not an elite quarterback. I don't know that he ever will be.
I think, Carey, if John Mateer would have been healthy for that game, if he had never broken his hand, OU would have won that game.
Does the committee believe that, though?
I don't know, but I just watch Texas every week, and I'm like, how did they beat Kentucky and Mississippi State the way, like, they should have never won those games, and then the OU Texas game, it's like, I mean, OU played so bad.
Here's my biggest question, and the stupid selection show this week is between two basketball games, so they can say it's a certain time. But you don't really know what time. I think it's 7:30 is what it's scheduled for. But, like, I was looking at, like, this week's... Huh?
Is it Coaches versus Cancer this week? Is that the MSG game on this week, on Tuesday?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that signage when they showed the commercial. So
okay.
But anyway, I'm looking at last week's schedule, and Texas loses, sure, but in the committee's eye, does OU get the credit that they should get for this Alabama win when they've got all these other teams they've got all these SEC teams jumbled up at the top. They probably don't want to move another SEC team over, Big 12 and ACC team. That's my concern here.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
I think they will, Carey, because I usually don't pay a lot of attention, and I make fun of people that do to the show. But aren't you glad now that you need to? Well, I have OU number 1 this week. They will fall back on, like, it's going to be hard for them to come out and not use OU's resume as a little bit of an example of what they're looking for. Like,
that's a good point.
The ranked wins, where they win
on the
games,
road.
I think they're going to be number 7. They're going to be 7. I think it's going to go Ohio State, Indiana, A&M will stay at 3. Georgia will jump to 4. Ole Miss will move to 5, or Texas Tech to 5. Then Texas Tech or Ole Miss at 6. OU at 7. Bama will be 8, right behind OU, and then it'll go Oregon, Notre Dame, or however they want to do it.
You think they're going to move them above? I question whether they'll move them above Oregon.
They should.
I know they should. I question whether they're going to move them above BYU.
Well, they're already above BYU.
I thought BYU. Okay.
Yeah, because BYU, after they got their ass kicked in Lubbock, they fell
quite a bit. Yeah.
That was the big. But BYU will move up. BYU will move up to 11, I think,
because Texas is going to drop out.
You think that Texas will go to like 15, 16?
I don't know. They might drop more. They might go to like 16 because I think Michigan and USC are both going to move up.
Yeah.
But I bet I think
so.
OU will
7
be
for
7.
OU is what you're predicting.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. And I think that they could move up to 6, but I bet they end up at 7 or 8 if they win out the last 2 games. They'll be at 7 or 8, and yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Because I don't think they won't. If Texas Tech keeps winning, they won't move them above Tech, and they won't move them above Ole Miss because Ole Miss beat them. And they won't move, and OU won't move above Georgia or A&M. So I think they're going to be at 7 or 8.
Ole Miss's best win is outside of Oklahoma is who?
LSU at home.
Ooh.
But they beat OU, so it's like they.
Well, no, I'm not arguing that OU should be ahead of Ole Miss. I'm just saying if they're going by resumes, it seems like Ole Miss has a tough challenge to move up.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's why, I think Ole Miss will be 6 and Texas Tech will be 5.
Yeah,
and then I think, and then it's like a matter of what do they think of Notre Dame and Oregon? Like, are they going to move? Who did Oregon play? Did they play today?
Well, they played last night. They played Friday night.
Yeah,
right.
Get out of Minnesota.
Miami was impressive today. Georgia Tech struggled, but they still won in the end.
The ACC shouldn't get a team in my opinion.
Unless it's Miami, who has 2 losses.
Even Miami, I don't think should get in.
I mean, Georgia Tech almost got beat by Boston College today.
Yeah, 1-win team.
I mean, the ACC is so bad.
I mean, Notre Dame's the wild. Is OU going to be ranked ahead of Notre Dame? That's the question.
They should. I mean, I don't know why if they're not, that's crazy to me.
We love Caden McFarland, but the resumes aren't
it's not even.
It's not even the same stratosphere. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Oregon. I mean, Oregon, they have
with Iowa losing to USC today. They can't count Oregon as a good win.
Iowa's a good win. Yeah. I mean, exactly. That was their one ranked win, I think, right? Or did they?
For who?
Oregon. Yeah, that's their one ranked win because Penn State and Northwestern are not ranked.
Right. I mean, it's a massive game in the Big Ten next week with USC and Oregon.
Yeah, the winner is going to get into the playoff.
Yeah. In Eugene.
I bet that's going to be a close game too.
By the way, can we just stop? I'm not going to go to that game. I'm not going to go to that game.
Why?
OU's got a game.
Well, you can fly out after the OU game.
What are we PJing now?
7:30. I mean, I bet Will go.
If Will wants to take me.
I've been told that he's addicted to flying private.
Let's see if Rich and Will want to go, then I'll go with them.
We can talk about throughout this week. I guess today on the broadcast, they kind of insinuated that Bo Prabula is hoping to play this week.
I saw, you know how that works, Eddie. People say, I heard Eddie say this on the radio, and it's not even anywhere close to what you said. There were plenty of follow-ups on that thread that were like, that's not what they said.
Okay.
I think they just hinted that he could be back by the end of the season.
Well, I don't think Amari Hardy's going to run for 300 yards this week against OU. He did against Mississippi State.
I saw they put up so many points, and I had Eddie read me the box score, and he was like, well, he ran for 300 yards. And I was like, well, I don't think that's going to be a recipe for success against Oklahoma. It might have worked for against Mississippi
I will say
State.
this about tonight's game. I thought Kobe and Owen had maybe – Kobe's hurt, but I thought they both had kind of rough games at times.
Yeah, I mean, Owen Heineke, my guy, he just overran a few times, and
there were a few times when his feet just got like stuck in cement.
Yeah, but
he did do a great job running with Eli Bowen on the interception.
Yeah,
to head off a potential tackler.
He had a couple other nice tackles he was in on, but Kip Lewis was the guy at linebacker tonight that was just he was just a maniac.
I think Kip Lewis and Davon Jordan. I mean,
look at it. His stat line. I don't think we haven't even read his stat
Taylor
line.
Taylor Wine.
Kip Lewis had 7 tackles, all solo.
Wow.
2 sacks and 2 tackles for loss.
And here's the thing. I know we were talking in the chat, and Josh was getting a little gassed up about Sammy Omosigho. I will say this, though. Like, that running back Hill, number 4, he became a problem for a while there.
Yeah. He broke that one off. That was like a 30-yard gain.
There was a time when Omosigho was in the game, and he met him head on, and 4 stopped being a problem. Like, Omosigho, if he gets to the ball carrier, he's making the tackle. It's just, I don't think you want him in there when they're throwing to their tight end, slants over the middle. And that was a problem with all the linebackers tonight. I mean, that was just, look, Ty Simpson's a really good quarterback. I don't think you should come away saying that there's an issue with OU's defense. They had one play, and it was, I think he found an outlet really quick, but they had a twist on with like a linebacker and maybe a corner. It might have been a safety. And literally Ty Simpson had to get it out probably in like 1.1 seconds or something. And he did. And it was like he made some of those plays tonight. Like I came away from that game like he got the shit beat out of him and they were in his face all night, but he showed me a lot more. If he just didn't look like Kirk Cousins, I would like him a lot more. But he showed me that he's got some guts and he's got some ability to get rid of the ball, like that most quarterbacks don't have.
Yeah, I think he's really good. But like, I thought OU had a great game plan for him. The way that they were able to get after him. I mean, Brent was just so good tonight.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, that secondary looked really good at times. It'll be interesting when Gentry's back and healthy, because I think he'll be back next week. You probably won't need him as much, but maybe that LSU game he really.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Carey, because like he went from available to
that's true. That's true.
Doubtful. Like we have no idea how serious.
We don't know what happened to him.
Eddie made a good point talking about R. Mason in the car. He's like, if I'm the coaching staff, I'm telling him, hey man, you need to get ready for a playoff game.
Yeah, you don't need to play run-centric Missouri.
Yeah, and that's not saying that, like, we think that, Missouri and LSU are just going to be easy games, but, like, they showed tonight, like, hey, we can take care of business. Like, we can, still play really great ball without you, but we need you for the playoffs. So do whatever it takes to get back on the field for the playoffs. And maybe he could get back on the field this week. I don't know. But I also want to point out, Jaden Jackson, he's a warrior.
Yeah.
It'll come out eventually, some of the injuries he's dealt with this year, and I'll just tell you.
He's never been healthy this year, right?
No. And I'm talking like torn ligaments and stuff. Like, he's playing through some shit, and the fact that he went out there and played tonight, and I don't think he practiced much at all this week, and he's got a bum foot, a bum knee, a bum shoulder, and he's out there playing meaningful snaps. That dude is an absolute badass.
By the way, did watch the game in the office. I didn't see any. I didn't really hear anything that was annoying about Greg McElroy's call on the game tonight. I thought he did a solid job. I didn't feel like he was too impartial toward Alabama.
I can't say I listened. I listened to the radio broadcast. They always do such a good job. I will say, Toby Rowland was giving me a hard time because I picked Alabama to win the game beforehand, but then I joked with them after that I'm going to pick against OU every game moving forward. just for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, it was real quick. I know we've been going for a while. What was the stadium experience like for you guys? First time.
Carey, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was everything special. Like, I texted George privately, like, before the game, and I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, it's just, it's one of those places that you show up and you go, this is what it is. Like, this is the college football, like the dream of college football that you think of going to Alabama. Like, when we got there today, George, like, they were doing the homecoming parade stuff. Yeah. I thought it was fantastic. If you're talking atmosphere, though, I didn't think it was – I don't want to say I didn't think it was anywhere close to Neyland, but Neyland is
far and away like separated in its own tier in and of itself.
And we've heard, like, talking to some of the Alabama writers, they agree Tennessee is the best they've ever been to.
But Bama it's Bama. It's cool.
And the people are so, it's just,
they're arrogant.
They're so arrogant. Like
Well, you would be too if you've won like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you have absolutely no. What's the word I'm looking for? Like your baseline of what is normal is so whacked. It's so out of whack.
I asked one of the Alabama TV guys at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I said, like on the Bryant Denny Stadium chart, 1 to 10, what has this experience been like? Like, is OU getting the full throttle? Is basically what I was asking. And he said, honestly, like, it's been fantastic tonight, but they don't play very many close games here. So, like, there's nothing to really
to
base it
compare
off
it to.
of. Yeah. So I thought it was cool. I thought it was awesome. It's going to come across very well in sights and sounds. I'm excited for everybody to see that. It's just a special place. Like, I think that Tuscaloosa and Knoxville, 2 of the last 3 weeks, have been like 2 of my favorite trips ever. Just from coverage of the game to the content that we've produced to the experience. Last week with my parents being there, it was just awesome.
There was something I wanted to ask you, George, because it stood out to me in 2003 when I was there. And I've never been in another press box that had it. But like in 2003, in the back of the press box throughout the entire game, they just had trays of bread pudding. Was any of that in the press box tonight?
No, Carey. And it's also a different press box because I sat next to Barry Trammell for the game, and he was telling me that in 03, it was on the other side of the stadium.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's totally moved, and it was open air.
Yes. Well, it was great because it was curved and it was open air.
Yeah. It was okay. We were in the second row, and I had a big pole in my way, so I couldn't even see. Like, when they were going into the north end zone, and we're at like between the 15 and 20, I could not see the play. So that was annoying. But other than that, it was fine. The press box was all right. But the food was pretty good.
Tennessee better?
Yeah, Tennessee was better. The Tennessee experience was all time. I mean, it was A+ across the board. No complaints. I will say, Eddie and I had, I think, a top 5 meal of my life Friday night in Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Barbecue?
No, steak. It was a steakhouse called Armor. It was called Armor House.
Uh-huh.
It was unfreaking believable. We may have drank too much wine, though.
I turned off news altogether.
I hate to say it, but I don't trust much of anything.
It's the rage bait.
It feels like it's trying to divide people.
If we got clear facts, maybe we could calm down a little.
NBC News brings you clear reporting. Let's meet at the facts. Let's move forward from there. NBC News, reporting for America.
I think I saw a picture and I did see wine and I was like, what are you two doing?
We had a rough morning today.
Yeah, we were not feeling our best this morning.
Are you not usually red drinkers?
We had a few other drinks.
It was the red wine on top of.
I mean, red will get you if you don't.
Beers last night.
If you don't, red will give you a massive headache if you're not used to it.
Oh yeah, I mean, Eddie told me it was so funny. We're driving, and it's like 9 a.m. and I was like, we got to stop and get some food or else we're going to die. And so we stopped at McDonald's in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, and Eddie takes one bite of his Egg McMuffin, throws it away, and says, this is going to be the worst day of my life.
It was bad.
I wish you could do like those, like I wish that there was some way to, like, if it was like a VR thing where you could put like what my life was like the day after Eddie went to the hospitality suite at the Fiesta Bowl for the first time in his life?
Oh, Carey, today in comparison to that, it's not. There is no comparison.
The Fiesta Bowl was the worst day of your life.
I've ever had.
Yeah.
Jen and I drank 2 bottles of tequila that night.
You puked in my car on the way to practice the next day. So
no, it was on the way to it was on the way back from breakfast. I don't think it was the way to practice.
There was I thought he might throw up today in the car.
I almost did. I almost did. Can I share a DM I got?
Sure.
This is
maybe
just the level of OU fan. And George, you can confirm. You're looking at the pictures here. Like, this is a real story. But shout out to my guy. His name's Jerry Brown. He sent me this DM after the game. Hey, Eddie, religiously listened to you guys, except for the last 2 weeks. I almost died with a massive brain tumor, but I'm on the mend, and Doc says I'm going to be fine after some rehab. Can't wait to hear the show. On my way to watch the instant reaction now. Today was great medicine. Just incredible.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. The guy almost dies, and he said that he's sitting there like yelling during Eli Bowen's pick 6, and his wife is like, we need to turn this off. Like, you don't need to be doing this to yourself.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Jerry. Incredible story. Best of luck in recovery and your rehab and all that kind of stuff. I guess he like passed out. This might be too much information. He passed out like while he was picking up his son from school, and his son like found him in the car. So very scary situation. But
glad he's okay.
Yeah, and very good spirits today after OU's win. So best of luck and everything with your rehab there, Jerry.
It's been a lot of fun, fellas. I don't know. I've gotten calls from ADT throughout the show. Telling me that there's something wrong with our alarm system. So I don't know if we have power yet or not back on Campus Corner.
What the hell?
It's been a wild day.
So there's like it said like 20,000 people.
Yeah.
That
the first time
insane.
When it went out when we were doing the show, it said 4,000, I think, or maybe 2,000. But
yeah, OG&E was reporting 20,000 when we started this.
But like, I guess people were hearing like loud bangs.
That's
like
scary
in I don't maybe this is the what was the comet that was flying over. There was apparently a spaceship like 3i 85 or whatever.
I have no idea.
Anyway, so yeah, it's it's actually been kind of fun. I could come home and had a couple of whiskeys while we were doing the show, so that was nice. But no, the story I was telling earlier is nowhere near, the inconvenience of having a brain tumor or whatever. What was his name? Jerry?
Yeah.
But like, talking about the game and getting excited during the Eli Bowen thing, I had, I was trying to prepare for the game. I was at the office and I ordered our new favorite pizza in Norman, Amici's. And got delivery, and I ordered it like at 1:30, and the guy finally shows up at like it was almost like 3:00, and it was as Eli Bowen was intercepting the ball, except he couldn't read numbers, and it clearly said we're Suite 101, and he was like, I'm at Suite 105. Where are you? And I was like, how big of an idiot are you? And so like I'm having to go to the door to see when he's coming around the corner, which he never did. And trying to watch all these massive plays happen at the beginning of the game. And I almost told him just to go home. I don't want the pizza. But, yeah, it was an interesting start to that game today. I needed the intern help today.
Pretty incredible day.
Just really unbelievable. I mean, I'll continue to say this was a historic day in OU football. As long as they finish out the season 10-2 and make the playoffs, this is a turning point that people will remember really for the rest of their lives. And, as long as Brent Venables remains the head coach at Oklahoma, sure, and they have success. But this potentially, it is your Red October moment. It is your, beating Kansas State and Nebraska and going to the Big 12 championship and making it. I'm not saying OU's going to win the national title this year, but where we've been the last few years, this could signal the next shift into Oklahoma's next era of football. And look, the Bob Stoops era, a lot of us were there for it. Lincoln Riley era started off great, ended up tragically. This Brent thing, it's been a roller coaster. But I think a lot of us feel like, we've all expressed like we want Brent to succeed.
Yeah.
And with what we saw tonight, that possibility is stronger than it's ever been.
As is the statement, and I mean, it's literally just a statement, but on November 16th, Oklahoma's in contention to, at the very least, make the tournament to win a national championship. Yeah. And from where this thing came from, it's kind of sort of amazing. And like we talked about it earlier in the program, Carey, the embarrassment that came with that first year in the SEC, I think we questioned just about everything about the program, from not just the head coach, but to the athletic director, to the way that the university is being run by the president. And, maybe just for these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and let me say this,
like
too.
They're headed in the right direction.
Let me say this, too. I don't talk about it a lot anymore because everybody likes to make a big deal out of it. I know George is the same way. Like, I'm happy for Joe Castiglione tonight because this was a hire that, he was involved in. He's gotten a lot of criticism, just like Brent has gotten criticism for being the coach. This is a big night for Joe, and he should be proud. And people have tried to pile on to everyone that's associated with Brent that wants him gone, and Joe caught a lot of that flack. Hell, Joe Jr. caught a lot of that flack. I think this shows that, a lot of you people that were assholes out there that went after people just to try and get your pound of flesh. Like, Joe's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. It's part of this thing. I stop including him into your little tantrums. He's done a great job. He's always done a great job. He knows what it's like to run a great athletic department. Things have changed a lot. He's going to go and retire, and who knows, maybe do nothing, maybe do something different. But happy that, the work that he's put in, he's put a lot of work into this thing. I'm happy for him that he gets to see this payoff tonight too. And George, I don't know if you want to say anything along those lines, but you're welcome to.
No, I mean, I think you nailed it. I mean, I think that, the program as a whole and the athletic department is in a really good place because the football team's winning. It's funny. I was looking this up as you were talking there, Carey. This time last year, do you know what we were doing? This was right after they lost to Missouri.
Ugh.
And I think we had some very dark conversations.
That's kind of funny that it was 365 days ago.
Wow.
And we had some very different conversations.
Yeah,
driving home from Tuscaloosa tonight.
And they got it. I'm going to just keep saying this because, we've seen them not handle success before. You've got to go take care of business this week and the next week because then it's all for nothing if you don't.
And guess what? We're not going to keep celebrating this all week. I mean, we're going to move on to Missouri.
We will on Monday.
Yeah, we're going to keep putting stories out there and doing content, and it's. I don't think things are going to change that much, but yeah, I mean, this is a team. And guess what? I think this is a team and a defense and an offense. I mean, look, the offense has a lot to prove still. They've got to get better. I mean, if you're going to be in a like you said, if you're going to be in a tournament to determine the national champion, there's no way this offense, the John Mateer, and this is not a negative way, John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle are going to look themselves in the mirror and they're going to say, what we're doing is not good enough. That's who they are. They know the score. And they're going to try and get better. And that offensive line is going to try and get better. That running back room is going to try and get better. That receiving room is going to try and get better. Like no one's arrived. It's a great win tonight. But Oklahoma football is about winning championships, about winning national titles. And they're not going to stop trying to work towards that goal.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you guys the floor. Any last words before we get out of here?
Incredible run. I'm excited about the next couple weeks and the possibilities of, basically kind of working through the middle of December and
can't wait to see this crowd.
Football playoffs.
Cannot wait to see this crowd next weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun few weeks in Norman, and I think that in a way, as miserable as some of these moments have been over the last couple years, it makes it almost that much more special to be put into this spot and this opportunity. And I don't know, a lot of fun the last couple weeks and going and winning these games in two of the premier kind of destinations in college football. It's been a lot of fun to, be a very, very small fly on the wall, if you will.
You know what the metaphor for this is, Eddie?
What?
We've kind of talked about this a little bit. This is drinking the water out of the PVC pipe in the middle of football practice when you get a break. The best tasting water that you'll ever have in your life.
Absolutely.
George, any last words?
Just happy to be here. Don't screw this up and lose to the Dork next week. Because I think they're going to beat LSU. I think LSU's just not very good, but I think Missouri's well-coached football team. So they gotta build on this. They gotta build on it. Awesome win. If the offense can figure it out, I think they can make a real run. And I think Mateer's just getting better every week. I think his decision making's getting better. So he did almost throw a pick six at one point tonight, but we'll just forget about that and move on.
There was two of them.
By the way, do you realize that Bauer Sharp scored the last points in that game today?
I did. He is going to come in here looking for revenge, but he will probably just end up fumbling instead.
What a great way to end this podcast. All right. Thanks to Eskridge Lexus, eskridgelexus.com. Go check them out if you're looking for a great either new car or a L-certified used car. They are the men. They're the men in a good way. So thank you for listening. Glad we could put this thing together, and hopefully we'll get power back on Campus Corner. I need to go in there tomorrow at some point. All the freaking lights are going to be on when the power comes back on, which is scary. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys back here after Missouri at 11 a.m. kick on ABC. That's been determined. So we'll see you here back again next week after the Missouri game on the Eskridge Lexus Postgame Podcast.